Today is August 27th. Yankees are the best defensive team in baseball as of last night. And we talked to Boone about a lot of stuff here on the show.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy, Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's brought to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. We're here in the studio, BBD, producing away in a fancy, colorful shirt. Looks like a lot of paintbrushes were wiped at the very end, you know?
A little bit.
Just get that last splotch off. It's
Royce
very
Lewis
colorful
is wearing this shirt, and then I said, "Ooh, I need that."
It's a nice, colorful shirt. Here on the show today, we have a lot happening. We're going to banter a little bit, maybe talk lightly about the game that happened last night. We have our Bantering with Boone interview coming up, where I suggested a very thoughtful suggestion, mapped it out and everything, and Boone liked it or didn't like it. You'll have to find out. And then we have sharp stats and some other stuff. And I also want to just let you guys know we're paying the bills today. So there will be ads throughout. One now?
Jim, Dave, DraftKings Daily Fantasy League. We do it every Tuesday. So just a reminder there. Get in on the action. It's not too late to sign up for the contest. There's a link in the description. It's daily fantasy, so you put together a lineup, you have a budget, compete against a bunch of our JM creators and a bunch of other Talkin' Yanks fans and people from our community are in there every Tuesday. You can win $100 in SeatGeek credit from John Boy Media, and at the end of the year, we're giving away 2 World Series tickets to the top leaderboard finisher. So go check it out. It's fun to put the lineup together. Should I get this guy or this guy?
This guy or that guy? This guy or this guy? You got anything? Last night was fun.
I'm doing all right. Last night was my favorite game of the season, which is just insane.
Comment yours below.
Because, comment your top 3 favorite games of the season. I was in shock. And it was funny because we opened talking to Boone about it. And I had some of the recipe, but I was missing ingredients, and Boone closed the gap on it. I don't know if I want to reveal that. But it's funny how a couple small baseball-y things can come together along with, one of the catches of the season and a few other things. Soto got a standing ovation, leadoff homer, some couple things on the Nat side. And I was like, it all makes sense, but it's just funny. That game seemed to have... We've had questions about intensity since 2018.
Yeah.
And we've had fans at our Boone Live event approach the intensity thing in not a great way. And we've tried to figure out the right way to do it because baseball is a game best played not intense. We actually talk about that in the Boone interview, a nice little Manny Ramirez story. But at the same time, there should be some. And coming off of Old Timers Day and the back-to-back-to-back homers, and then seeing that intensity last night, Judge with one of his biggest fist pumps we've ever seen, Doogie into the wall. Nestor, screaming on the mound. It was like, this is a Monday night Nationals game at the end of August. I don't know. We were daydreaming in our Talkin' Yanks chat, hoping maybe this is just kind of a energetic wave they caught that hopefully we see the rest of the way.
That would be nice. They felt the moment. Oh, it's playoff time. Oh, we got stuff coming on. Oh, Rizzo, Birdie, all these people are coming up. Maybe ask Boone about that. You got me going, dude, with this best games of the season. You got me going.
Welcome.
I have one lock.
Okay.
I don't know if yesterday's makes it. I think it will.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go the back-to-back-to-back. Judge hits his 50th back-to-back-to-back game.
As a game, as a moment, I think that's the one. But as a game, that game does nothing.
Yeah, but that's it's a memory. So, I'm
Right.
counting moments can overshadow games. Game 4 against the Astros of the season. That's on my top 5. That's the only one that because the audience might be like, what about this one? And then I bump others.
Throw home. I mean,
that was game 1. Yeah, but game 4 was when Soto had the at bat against Hader, and they got him. There's the Giants comeback against Doval. That was really good.
That was a cool one.
And then there's one game that would be also locked in, but unfortunately
unlocked.
Volpe and Verdugo botched those 2 plays. That would be easily in my top 5 if they just made those plays to end this half.
Either play.
I did really like the 11-8 game against Boston in a different way. It was a back and forth affair at Fenway. So that was the whole game was good. So those are my 3 that I'm throwing out there. And you guys let me know if I missed any good ones.
Comment below. Before we get into bantering with Boone, why don't you hear about Momentous? Momentous. You may assume you're getting everything your body needs from a diet or a simple green juice, but most people are still short on essential nutrients our bodies need to function at their best. I went in a wormhole about this last night, and I was like, I think I gotta start doing better.
Yeah.
I
go on waves. Summer's always a bad wave.
I'm your kid's unofficial godfather. I need to start taking care of myself. And Momentous.
Man-father.
Creatine, I'm their man-father. Omega-3 protein ensures that all my bases are covered. 3 supplements support nearly every aspect of foundational health, aiding cognitive function and reducing inflammation in muscles and joints. The anecdote I always tell, we asked Momentous, what's your deal? What are you guys about? They said, we're the best. We said, okay. And they showed that they're in every MLB team's clubhouse except 2 of them. Still haven't got R&D on that yet. Send the message to Jeremy, BBD. I need to know. There's a reason why the world's best athletes and experts use and help develop Momentous products. If you're like me, you want to take what the champions take, go to livemomentous.com. Use code YANKS, 20% off your first order. Load up. That's livemomentous.com, code YANKS, 20% off. There's a link in the description.
Now, I just watched a video on MLB.com called Yankees Best First Half Moments. Didn't do anything for me in my games. Didn't really help me. I don't think there's been that many crazy ones. People might say the Rice 3-homer game. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to crack my top 5. One of the Dodgers game they won Sunday night. Was that fun? If it's top 5, I know the answer.
No, Dodgers series was scary because Soto was hurt.
I know, but they won that last game, which was nice. Guys, what are the best games of the season? Some of those Brewers where they just nice.
Should we ask them to comment below?
Comment below. Because the Brewers wins, they're fun. They're not great games. Right. So it is. What do you consider?
Right. They started period.
Email Boone. Tell him to have his list prepped for next step.
And a couple other things.
Speaking of. Boone. All right, time for Bantering with Boone, brought to you by Beatbox. Coming off an intense game, Boone. A lot of running into wall defense. It was pretty fun to watch. Probably scary for you a little bit as well.
Yeah. It was a really good game. Obviously we hit a few balls out of the ballpark. Nestor kind of grinded his way and just made a lot of really big pitches, continuing what's been a good run for him. But then a lot of really good things on defense. Obviously the Verdugo play, the Judge play. Actually, Judge, he had a couple at the wall, but obviously the one great back pick by Austin and Gleyber. Just and some good, we hit a few balls out of the ballpark, but a couple of, manufactured runs too, where you get, Jazz got a guy over, sac fly by DJ, Volpe steals a base, sac flies by DJ again. So a good night, a good way to start this quick trip.
As fans, and I feel like I've done this a few times, and we've done this, but man, the energy, that was awesome last night. That was one of my favorite games to watch this season. And it's a late August game against the Nats. All right, that's not the game I would have circled on the calendar. Is like, oh, the boys are going to be bopping tonight. Is that just like game flow? Like you see two guys go into the wall and there's just a ball of energy rolling? Or do you feel that at all? Because I felt it on the couch.
Maybe Boone gave a rousing speech.
Rousing speech? Nation's capital, we're here.
You know what? It was a good environment at Nats Park last night. You know, obviously they got an exciting young team that you feel like is, you know, on the come, and there's a lot of excitement here, I feel like, around their team. And obviously one of their big prospects in Cruz getting called up last night. You know, Doogie doing that with his hat, you know, rolling like that, which has happened before. You know, to get out to the 2-run lead and Judge makes that catch to, you know, they tie the game right there. There was definitely a shot of energy after that. It was just a cool night. You know, there was energy in the ballpark. There were a lot of Yankee fans, so they were fired up, especially over our dugout. It was one of those kind of feelings. Yeah, just a good way to, you know, start what are now just very important series.
I think the energy started with that 7th inning, 8th inning of the last series, the back-to-back-to-back. That dugout scene after G went deep, that might have been the rowdiest dugout we've had all season.
Yeah, that was pretty electric, honestly. And that was one of those moments in the regular season where, you know, even in the day game, it just, you feel the building kind of lose their mind a little bit. It was pretty neat.
And then, Jake, you said it looks like everyone wanted to touch the 1,000th ball hit?
Yeah, that was Beebs in there. But, yeah, it's just a nice moment in the dugout. Gleyber kind of got jobbed a little bit. But, yeah, just another part of Judge's just normal season this year.
I'd ask you about Judge, Boone, but seems no one has the words to really quantify what's happening and how to talk about it. Do you have anything that you could add that people haven't?
Yeah, I don't, because and that's kind of like the go-to for, like, even when you watch other people cover. I was watching MLB Network this morning a little bit. It's like I don't know what to say anymore. You know, that's kind of where we're at in the show. Is like, I mean, he's just kind of better than everyone.
The 0-2 changeup he hit in that game, the first homer of that game, was the one for me where I kind of threw my TV remote in the air and I was just like, what is this?
Yes.
Because he took that to left.
Pitch. People have had success with him in his career. You know, when a well executed, and he goes down and drills it into the bullpen. I mean, I agree.
We also had Old Timers Day. I love Old Timers Day. I was, you know, obviously a big fan of the 2009 team, and I was listening to that. Glued
you
to
like
the TV.
that team?
I liked it. Well,
nice.
The younger teams, I was younger, but I was 20 years old then, so I was kind of like really in. I was listening to all the post games. I was reading every article. I was really in it. So those are my guys. That's like a nostalgia pocket. But any good interactions you saw from, you know, current players and the old guys, or even just interacting with the guys coming through?
Yeah, it was great. I agree. It was, I mean, I think you always, to some degree, look forward to it just because you might see somebody get excited that you haven't seen in a while, or, you know, share stories. What was really cool was a number of the guys, you know, rolled through the clubhouse and we're kind of all hanging out around the entrance of the clubhouse by Robbie Kukuz's office, in between Robbie and my office. Just kind of this gathering of different generations. And I mean, obviously a lot of great players too. And that banter and an interaction was really cool. I was sitting on the field next to Lou Piniella. So it was just fun catching up with Lou. And, you know, as a guy would come up and it sparks a memory or a story or this situation in a game 20 years ago or whatever, you know, talking about our team. It was fun to sit with Lou and just chat and catch up a little bit.
I guess tie the last two things together. This Old Timers Day with the Judge stuff. Are are guys like bumping you and being like, hey, what's going on with this cat? Because, it almost turns into a two-way petting zoo there that normally we're all about the old timers. But, with what Judge is doing, like you saw, Jeter doesn't always pose with everyone. Judge is the story.
Yeah. Pretty much everywhere I go now, it's people want to know, or just ask my take on what Aaron's doing and what Juan's doing for that matter. They want to, hey, what do you got? So I get a lot of that, including from, some of the old timers and certainly a topic of conversation, but you're right. And you're talking about some all-time old timers, some right. Hall of Famer greats that are in awe of what Aaron's doing.
Speaking of Judgy and Soto, there's been a lot of hunting for a leadoff guy this season. Gleyber was the pick at the start and then rotated through. He's been on a pretty good stretch here. I think 6 games in a row where he's gotten on in the first inning. Homer yesterday, so it was a quick stay on the base paths. But the numbers are also great in this most recent stretch, on base percentage wise, batting average wise. Do you feel like Gleyber's kind of locked himself in there?
Yeah, he's been awesome, and obviously we're in this stretch of a ton of lefties. So, but yeah, I feel like the whole month, and even going back into July, it was getting better too. But he's looking like the hitter that we know he is and can be. It's been really good to have him doing this up top. And if we can have a presence in front of Juan and Aaron, and then obviously some length behind it, I feel like we still got a chance to really, really do some great things offensively. So Gleyber has been outstanding. It's been exciting to see.
Yeah, in the last 10 games since he kind of has been up there the entire time, 316 batting average, 435 on base percentage. So just makes everything a lot harder.
His patience has been, that's one thing that's kind of been there all year, as he's kind of struggled to get going. Like the swing decisions and the strike zone controlling has been there. Now he's starting to get it going, bat to ball like Gleyber's capable of. But what I've liked is real aggressive mentality that he's walking up to the plate with. But so there's been games where he's jumped on the first pitch and gotten a hit. But there's inevitably a ton of 6, 7, 8, 9 pitch at bats that he's rolling up there just because he's doing such a good job with the strike zone. Since
he got those 3 days off in between the Mets, around the Mets series, at that point you freeze his slash line and he's got a 294 on base percentage. Since that kind of rest and reset, 362 on base in 45 games. So it's been pretty fun to watch.
For that. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, I have one ask.
Okay.
Or just like a poll. Can we look into a smaller helmet for Volpe? Because it's fun, but then he hits his head and you're like, well, maybe the safety equipment staying on is better.
Can you tell he's a dad now? That's an adult.
Just a father.
Mike Harkey asked me the same thing this morning at breakfast. He said, "Can we get Volpe a smaller helmet?" So I'll inquire today about that.
Just seems like the helmet staying on is better for a long run.
Yeah.
But, okay, that's one. I think I have another ask later on in the show.
Yeah, we don't want it to come off as an ask fest. Last time we checked in, Dr. Jazz Chisholm said he was coming back after his 10 days. You pumped the brakes on it because obviously that's part of the gig. But he does come back after the minimum amount of days. And that's just, again, we're figuring things out. He passed out all the physical testing, swing test and that. And you guys are like, well, he's good. The numbers are good. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know why. I remember the next day in Chicago after it happened. He's like, yeah, I feel a little better already. I feel like I could go tomorrow, but we knew we probably had to IL him at least for the short term. Um, and then that next day, he's like, I can play, man. So took a couple days to make sure range of motion and strength and everything was good and where the trainers needed it to be. And then, right away I think his first day in the cage, he did some soft toss and some tee work, and I think it was on the off day when we actually came home from Williamsport. He went in on the off day and did some just dry swings, hit off the tee a little bit. Everything went well there. And then we advanced them the next day and let him hit in the cage. And that was really, and when I saw him hitting in the cage that first day of the homestand last time, I was like, wow, that looks pretty good. And then the next day he was hitting on the field and, miss hitting balls into the left center bullpen like he does and into Monument Park. And we're off and running from there. So definitely a little pause and scary scenario that, we're fortunate to get through.
Yeah, at this point, it's 4 games. Are you still checking in afterwards, or when do you reach the point where it's just kind of out of sight, out of mind? He's healthy and we're playing.
Yeah, I mean, I actually haven't even checked it.
All right, great.
That first game, I was like, "You good?" And
out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah,
I like that.
I don't know if I've seen a bigger smile because it's a combination of like smile and just being in a winning. Going from losing to winning is massive, and being like surrounded by the greatness. Everything we said about Judge, I feel like there's going to be a Jazz montage at the end of the season that's just him like it's not even smiling. It's just like jaw-dropping smile.
When I went to take out Nestor last night, and I'm on the mound with the infielders there, I noticed Jazz like taking it, like, because Nestor walked off, and obviously we're on the road, and above our dugout, it felt like that Anaheim, when we go to,
yeah.
I mean, it was just a roar of people, and I felt like Jazz was looking over there like, we're on the road. This is pretty cool.
That's nice. Okay.
Rizzo Rehab kind of is seemingly going faster than or just snuck up on me. So where are we at? And what is the plan or what do you see? Is he coming back? He's platooning at first. I mean, is it a short stint like Stanton does? Do you need to see a lot of time in the minors?
No, I don't think it'll be we'll see, because he hasn't played the field yet.
Yeah.
That's what they're holding off on a little bit. So we'll see. I don't want to, shortchange it or get ahead of our, like he's playing today. I think he's going to play Wednesday also, and we'll kind of reevaluate where he is and what we need to do.
And Birdie, he's also rehabbing, has a homer and a double in his first game. Missed the potential first game. Forgot his bags. Is that what happened?
No. His flight got canceled to where they were going, so he had to fly the next day, and then his bags didn't get delivered.
No one would lend him a bat.
No, so he did.
Nah,
so
joking.
But he had to go the next day. So he got there. He was able to work out with other equipment, obviously. But,
he hit a homer his first game. So same path for him. Same path for him. Are you eyeing September because that makes things easier?
At some point in September, we want him to play a little bit more just because of the nature of the calf and making sure he's recovering and bouncing back, and because he had a little setback in there, whatever it was like a month ago that slowed him a little bit. Those calves can be tricky, man. You got to make sure they're good to go. So, but obviously it's going well.
Seems very much like a year where you would want more than one available September call up, because you're going to have Rizzo, Birdie, and at some point, if you could, Dominguez to get some reps if possible, but that doesn't seem possible for all three to come up without losing someone. So is that even in your guys' head? Is what it is?
Yeah, I mean, we're not there yet. And baseball is a way of working those things out for you, but we'll there may be tough decisions along the way. We'll just keep rolling with it.
What about our guy Clarke? He throws 48. We wanted to ask, it's our one of our favorite Yankee questions. Does he go and throw any more in the bullpen after? Because one time you dropped the bomb on us that I think Cole or Rodon threw one pitch after their outing, and we were like, wow, that's something.
No.
Okay.
I think he'll go. He goes tomorrow. I feel like in that kind of 56 range. And then he'll probably take another one too.
Okay. So
right.
there's nothing you could see tomorrow that could make you say like, hey, let's just get him back with the club.
Yeah, I think he'll probably have at least the next one. Okay. But again, never say never, but my expectation is that he's going to take another one.
I have a lot of rotation questions and one ask about the rotation. So I get, I'm different than you. I get ahead of it because I can't help myself. I'm bored. I don't have to manage day to day. So I got the rest of the year mapped out. Now, someone probably does on your guys' side. And first question, will Warren be getting a start with the off day in between? You can skip and everyone's on regular rest. Stroman gets the first home game, then Nestor, or is that something you don't want to announce now? Even if
Warren will get the second game. Stroman's going Friday. Warren will go Saturday.
Okay,
that's what Nestor Sunday.
Then it'll be Nestor Sunday, Cole Monday. Yeah. But that's where it was interesting because that Cole Monday would be Clarke's third if he's ready. And my ask is that you push Cole one day somehow because that lines him up for the first game against Baltimore, which could be a fun big series, and the last day of the season, which either you've already won the division and it's a breeze and he just gets a bullpen in, or you're in a division race and he gets the last game of the season. So my ask is you guys push Cole one day somehow over the course of the next week.
Push him back?
Yeah.
No.
You don't want him to line up for Baltimore series?
I want him to pitch.
Yeah.
I don't want to slot anyone else in just because.
Well, I'm gonna let Jimmy stew on that because he did not like that.
I want him against Baltimore. You don't want him against Baltimore?
Maybe. Doesn't mean he won't.
Wants him against anyone. How about this? Luis Hill.
I don't need him against Oakland.
Luis Hill. We chatted a little bit before this. I won't give away too many of your secrets, but you said things are seeming pretty good. I guess where are we at? Is it back? If he's healthy, he'll be back in the rotation?
Yeah.
Okay. That's another guy. Jimmy,
Here's a grand idea.
Hopefully at some point here in the coming weeks that we have a difficult decision to make, and
I've got a great solution. You take the Chicago series when Clarke would be on schedule to make his fourth start, and you piggyback Hill and Clarke. They both get 60 pitches or whatever the workload is, and that moves Cole down one game where he can face Baltimore and then the last game of the season. Our ace.
All righty.
All right, I'll send you the timeline. I'll screenshot it.
Yeah.
I've got one more that might not get an answer, and it's okay. Our guys, Waldo, I get it. There's a roster crunch, and we're trying to figure out, how different guys are going to partake in the rest of this season, and I understand that. I don't know. We've been doing some fun thought exercises, and I realize playoff roster is not a combo for you right now. But versatility going forward, like let's say Anthony Rizzo's back and he's Anthony Rizzo. Awesome. There's a chance, again, this is some forward thinking we've done, that Oswaldo could be like a backup first baseman. He could be backup everywhere. Like, do you guys see needing him to get any more reps anywhere else on the field to have him prepared for, I don't know, potentially that last man on the bench playoff type role?
But that's what he does.
Okay.
He's always worked, obviously he does the bulk of his work because he's played so much third base this year, but he works out at shortstop, at second. He bounces in the outfield to get some reps out there from time to time. He works out at first.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing about Oswaldo is, he's going to work and be prepared and be ready for anything you throw at him. And defensively, I always feel confident. Whatever I have to throw at him, even in the heat that he's going to go and handle it. He's that kind of pro.
You got a lot of relievers seemingly can be called up, close to being called up. You got Hamilton rehabbing. You got Birdie who's throwing down there, Trevino, Efros. Any of those guys should expected, being looked at, get chances, get looks with the team?
Yeah. They're all kind of knocking on that door in that conversation. Marinaccio too. And a little bit of a good problem, hopefully starting to emerge with having some real depth and guys that, certainly make a case to be here. So hopefully that continues. We continue to move guys and, have guys potentially part of the mix.
And I know Jimmy wants this one a little bit, but it's like Canely and Jake Cousins right now in a 8th or 7th inning type situation. Are we essentially playing a little bit of a lefty righty game with Canely's kind of wipeout changeup and how effective Cousins' slider has been?
Yeah. I mean, they complement each other well, I feel like. And then I'd throw Luke Weaver into that mix too, as kind of the hybrid of those two. Weave's very effective against lefties, but handles righties as well. So, I feel like, those guys are all throwing the ball well. And
the added length Weaver can provide was my guess at why he's usually first out, is because if he's rolling, he can go 1.1, 1.2.
Yeah, sometimes I like him coming in the middle of an inning. So if I need to do that, I've done that a little bit with Tommy, but I usually like. And in fact, I sent Tommy back out to get to try and get 2 outs the other day. But I usually like to keep Tommy to that 1 inning. But yeah, I feel like those guys are throwing the ball really well.
I haven't heard one Tommy Canely shenanigan story this whole season. Is he too mature now? Is
an adult?
No.
Is he? No?
Okay.
All right. Okay, good. That's great. The stories are just too wild to be told. That's what we're. That's the way I'll go. Okay.
An aggressive one.
You know what? He's an Eagle fan again.
Yeah, I heard that.
That.
You told us. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Came in with all his jerseys.
It's a bit manic. Like, it's every day, like, I'm back.
Nice. Dude, at any fantasy football shenanigans? We've seen a lot going around the league. We saw the Oakland A's were throwing balls from the rooftop. Torey Lovello took BP for draft order. You guys got any of that going on?
I don't know. I got to check with Brett Weber to see if we can do something creative to select the order, because ours is it's coming up this next week.
Okay.
So maybe we'll get a little creative with the order.
Okay.
We'll keep an eye out.
Did you watch any of the Maddux documentary?
I did. We watched it on the train coming up, Osmus and I. Osmus said he watched all of it. I watched some of it because he said I dozed off, but I only think I dozed off.
Osmus.
Backyard Brad, bottle of red, watching the Maddux doc?
Right.
Come on.
I actually haven't seen the whole thing, but I just wanted to get, what was your reaction? And maybe you knew this already from just being inside the walls of baseball, to the fact that he would pick his nose for a curveball, he was giving the catcher the signs on the mound.
How he caught the ball.
Away from his body. Did you know that, or was watching the documentary the first time you heard that?
No, I think we've heard that before, that he would do things like that.
As a hitter, are you like, I mean, you actually had fared well against him. You went 3 for 3 one game with a homer. Yeah.
No.
Yep.
I never heard off Maddux.
Double?
Probably.
I have a video of it. You went 3 for 3. Your numbers are good against him.
No, like 4 for, no, nothing
okay,
great.
I'll find it.
Okay.
fine. It's fine.
Well, Jimmy finds that.
308 batting average
Greg Maddux.
with a double. But one game, you went 3 for 5 with a double and an RBI. 2002.
Well, I remember that game, actually. That was an important game for me. I was struggling really bad the first 2 months of the season, and that was that game that kind of got me going a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying to find footage of it. There's footage of the double. It was like a high fastball that you hit on a line to the wall. And the announcer who was doing it, he wasn't kind to you. I got mad at him. He was like, that ups his batting average from 127 to 129. I was like,
yeah,
geez.
I remember that series.
People say we're rude.
One of those moments of like, I was going through a really just struggling to start the season. And I was like, you get so, as a hitter, you're just like, so, you're grinding, you're worried, you're pressing all it. And that was like that series where I said, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm going to come in and be prepared and be ready to go. And whatever happens out there happens, but I can't spin my wheels like this anymore. That's like that fine line as a hitter. You got to have that, like, I'm prepared, I'm ready, boom, but screw it when you get between the lines, like, let's go play now. That's the one thing I learned from Manny Ramirez was unbelievable at that. We were playing when I was with Cincinnati. He was with Cleveland. Both teams are good. Summer, it's Battle of Ohio. We're in Cleveland. He comes up later part of the game in a big spot. I think like bases loaded at first and second. Boom, hits into a double play. He's running from first after he grounds out. He's running back across the diamond back to the Indians dugout. And he kind of jogs by me and just kind of goes, oh, well. That was the beauty of Manny. It was like he had this, like, obviously amazing swing, amazing talent, and was known as a hitting savant and worked and stuff. But he also went between the lines and was like, yeah, whatever now. And you got to have a little bit of that to be successful, man. You got to have a little bit of that.
Professional athletes they're wired very differently.
Yes.
What pitcher do you think nowadays if PitchCom wasn't out there, would watch that Maddux thing and be like, oh, fuck, I want to do that? Because Cole came to mind. If he could just tell the catcher, he knows what he wants to throw.
Yeah, I think it's probably happened over the years more than you might think.
I've heard of the buttons and like going like +1 or +2, but I never heard of the way he caught something so obvious.
Yeah, I think to varying degrees, some guys have done that over the years.
Right. Andy Pettit used to just say it. He would say the pitch out loud. That's why he covered his mouth, because you would see him on TV and they would have an angle from above and he would just go, curveball. I'd be like, oh, he's throwing that. Anyway, I don't know if you can see this, but here's your hit off Maddux.
Okay.
It's your third hit of the game off of him. Don't worry, it's crystal clear in my end. Doesn't look old.
Oh, it's whacked.
Yeah, 2-0, up and in fastball.
Oh, that's got to get out.
That's why I thought it was a homer, because I remembered watching it and being like, that's high.
2019, that's 10 rows deep.
That's right.
Yeah, you're getting a contract off that. All right. Well, that was I've got to watch the full doc, because every bit I've seen has fascinated me.
Boone, trivia will get you out of here. Trivia is presented by Beatbox. Beatbox is the perfect pairing for a Yanks game. Do yourself a favor and hit the link in the description to find Beatbox near you. Aaron Judge hit his career-high 30 doubles. Nobody's talking about that, huh?
He's got 30 doubles?
30 doubles. You have managed 4 other players with 30 double seasons. Who are they? It's a tough one.
4 others?
4 other players, yes.
Andujar?
Yes, 47 in 2018. My God.
DJ?
DJ in 2019, 33. I'll give you a little hint.
It's got to be another 2019, right?
The other two have...
Gregorius?
No, close. Go a little to the left.
Gleyber
Right.
David?
You mean right?
From home plate, go a little to the left.
Urshela?
Gio Urshela, Gio the God, 34. And there's one more, also 2018.
I don't even know.
Hicks.
No, I like the guess.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Stanton.
Oh.
Stan had the most infield singles ever in 2018 because he hit the ball so hard, infielders were a little scared, and he could still bust it down the line a little bit.
Yep.
That was fun.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
30 doubles. All right.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Booney.
All right. See you guys.
See ya. How about that? Just a couple dudes bantering about baseball. Something I like to do and drink Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. With bold flavors and a refreshing citrus kick, Mountain Dew will get you off your ass and have you feeling like you're on an actual mountain. Wow, that's powerful. Man, we've been doing our warehouse stuff with Mountain Dew. Whatever you're into, fishing, pickup football, tossing the old disc around. God, that's a good time when you do it right, especially with that autumnal weather coming. The mountain is calling. You should answer. Grab your friends. Grab an ice-cold Mountain Dew wherever refreshing beverages are sold, and do the Dew. There's a link in the description. If you can't find Mountain Dew around you, hit up BBD.
We got a live stream on Thursday in the warehouse, sponsored by Mountain Dew, and practicing for Blitzball Battle 5. So I'll be there twirling it, grunting, screaming.
And by the way, we've been saying, hit me up if you need to know where Mountain Dew is. The people have taken you up on that offer. I get a DM most days the last couple weeks about this.
Do you go to Google Maps and type in store?
I tell them to check out anywhere. If you start with anywhere, and you're going to be in.
If you go 0 for 3,
spot.
BBD will give you an exact location.
What'd you like about that chat with Boone? We didn't yell at each other, so
no,
boring.
I mean, vibes are high, and that's where we talked about it at the end of last series, and we talked. And dude, last night, if you're an Avarex person, which for IYKYK, there are a lot of guys that have been in Yankee fan ire have a couple days of performing. So what do you do with that? Verdugo's been hitting. DJ had some good at-bats. Volpe had great at-bats. I don't know. Coming off of that game last night, and the other thing, the piece that I forgot, Nats had their top prospect called up, Dylan Cruz. The Yankees are in town. They gave Juan Soto a standing ovation on the second at-bat after Gleyber hit a leadoff homer. So with the judge, Verdugo into the wall, it's like, okay, like there was a part of me that I try to be the energy, and why don't we have that more? And a lot of that energy can't be replicated on a night-to-night basis. Like the stadium had juice that night. So when I got the full recipe, I was like, damn.
I don't know. I know we can't give stuff away about the rotation and about guys getting called up. I am very interested in the Rizzo plan. He's got to play the field, but I wonder how many games. It was nice of him to give us the rotation. Like that's a piece of info that we got there. He did say that Warren will make another start. I don't know why, because he's interested in Cole getting more starts, so they could do the other way.
Right.
And just stay regular. My plan that I proposed does not take a start away from Cole. So he just poo-pooed it too quick. It's a great plan, and he should look it over again. I'll send it.
Yeah, we'll get him the spreadsheet.
I will say on the Yankees sneak schedule, that would be one of their closest to the chest things until the week before.
Yes, true.
So I don't think he was going to give that either way. I don't know. It's interesting because we did this discussion last episode. I could see the Yankees, and I guess that's where I get a little nervous with Boone saying, like, I just want Cole out there pitching more, like push him a day. There's a little bit of fear there.
If you lost a start, obviously I wouldn't like it.
Right.
But you don't lose a start overall. You just, his last start is the last day of the season now.
But, the Yankees sometimes compute and overcompute that I could even see them saying, like, well, we can only control so much with the division that we'd actually rather the Orioles not see Cole the week before the playoffs, just in case we see them in the playoffs or something like that, you know?
I'm interested on why they're not going in order. Like they are having Stroman start on regular rest and Warren extra. I'm going to look at Stroman's splits, days rest. Sometimes a sinker baller, you want a more tired arm. I don't know if that's the case here. It is. 4 days rest, 3.29 ERA for Stro. 5 days rest, 5.14.
Look at that.
And that is a sinker baller thing. You want a little bit of a tired arm.
Keep it regular.
More sync.
Yeah. So, okay, that makes sense then. I was wondering if it had to do with who they're facing at all and the catching situation. Because as you just saw, we didn't ask about this, with Cole pitching today, Wells got the start versus the lefty yesterday, and Trevino will get it, I'm guessing, against the righty today.
Lefty.
Oh, it's lefty again.
It's all
Originally,
lefties.
it was going to be the other way, and then or maybe that was the last series. I forget. We asked
all
about
lefties this series.
that. And Wells looked good once the righty came in, hit the homer.
Sure did. Cool homer, too. After the pickoff.
Will Warren note, not that this, he's been worse than to just blame it on this, but his last 4 starts, which have all been in the major leagues, days rest, 7, 6, 9. So he's kind of just finding no rhythm. It's going to be a different amount of days again this time, it sounds like.
Also a sinker baller, so
Yeah. So
Stroman should get
discussions
obviously
about Warren
priority.
are beyond that, but it's an uphill battle.
Do they don't have days rest for minor league splits on Baseball Reference, I don't believe.
If they do, I don't immediately know how to get
Be cooler if they did. No, they don't even have it on like the anywhere. You'd have to like count the days, which is not fun.
No need.
Build an algorithm. But anyway, yeah, he told us a little bit about that, which I thought was good. I still think the Clarke heel piggyback is a great way to go about it, which I think you actually said first, but it is a good thing. And that Clarke is going to make a third start, which makes sense. He's rehabbing, get him right. But does the Warren move help that as well? Like then Warren lines up with Clarke more.
Yeah, I want to rewatch the after asking about heel and if he had the rotation spot. Boone said yeah, and then he had a little bit of Boone talk in there. Was like, we're evaluating everything.
He said a line about like there could be a tough decision that has to get made.
Yeah, what was that about?
That was around there.
He said that about Birdie and Rizzo as well. Like, yeah, it'd be because I asked, "Are we going to wait until September?" And he kind of was like, "Yeah,
yeah."
Which we're
It
pretty
sounds
close.
like-
But he was like pretty on it about that. He threw in that extra line that we weren't even like fishing for.
I'll go
With
rewatch.
position players, we were looking for a line kind of like that.
And by moving Warren, it does line the next time Warren would pitch with Clarke's 4th start on regular rest. So it's looking like Clarke is going to pitch that Saturday, September 7th in Chicago. Now, heel can return September 4th. So they still can just push him to
Just
September
do
7th.
heel. I'm good with one more Will Warren start.
Yeah, you're going to get that on the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's it, right?
Yeah, you
'Cause
can't.
Heel's back.
Heel can't
so
come.
you push
no one
everyone.
else.
Okay.
They could have not done that and just
Right.
pushed everyone. But
Right.
but now Nestor is getting extra rest. He's getting 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to have 5 days rest. Yeah,
Should we hear from KT Sharp?
let's do it.
Queen.
Hey guys, it is the Queen of Stats. And yes, I know that there is some optimism now in the Yankee universe with the team coming off that series win against Colorado and in first place and everything. But we really have to talk about DJ LeMahieu and how unprecedented it is for a team with World Series aspirations like the Yankees to keep giving a player like him at bats. Someone who is just so bad both offensively and defensively. Now, I know he's not the only player that is underperforming this season, but he's clearly been the worst. And any way you slice it, DJ has been terrible. He has a 570 OPS versus righties and is even worse against lefties, a 423 OPS. He's got a 540 OPS at home and a 504 OPS on the road. He's got a 584 OPS as a first baseman and a 503 OPS as a third baseman. I could keep going on, but you get the point. So let's get to the stats now. Entering Monday, so DJ had 214 plate appearances and an OPS plus, that's an adjusted OPS relative to the league average, of 48. So that means he was 52% worse than league average, according to OPS. He's also been terrible defensively. He's got -6 defensive WAR on base, according to Baseball Reference, and -5 defensive runs saved on Fangraphs. So, what I did is I first looked at all World Series winning teams, see how many had a player with at least 200 plate appearances, an OPS plus below 50, and a negative defensive WAR for that season. Yep, you guessed it, there were none. That's not good news at all. So I then added just teams that made the World Series but lost. Well, that adds a whopping 2 teams to the list. The 2012 Tigers, who had Ryan Rayburn, who was terrible, and the 1944 St. Louis Browns, who had a guy named Frank Mancuso, who was their catcher, who was pretty terrible. So, anyways, I'm not saying it's impossible for the Yankees to make a deep postseason run this season, but they're going to have to overcome this historical footnote to do it. Talk to you guys next week.
Sharp Stats was brought to you by Mando. If you got a stink you're trying to get off you, maybe use Mando. I become a Mando man recently, out of necessity. I ran out. There's Mando deodorant. Started going with it. I'm all about it. Mando has everything. They've got soap. They've got face wash. They have everything you're looking for. Clean your stuff up. And their Mando starter pack. It's perfect for new customers. Solid stick deodorant. Yep. Cream tube deodorant. Sure. 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. Luckily, I have a discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates over to 40% off the starter pack. Use code YANK. Shopmando.com. Shopmando.com. Only if you use deodorant or like being cleanly. Did you hear some of those things, Jim?
Yeah, I did. I did hear some of those things.
Brutal Ryan Rayburn up.
That was a bummer for him.
I want that clip. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Some of our concerns.
It's odd. I was kind of doing this yesterday or the other day with you guys. Bigger than DJ, but just you can't find that many of the past World Series winning teams that have such an unbalanced lineup.
Right.
The Yankees are top heavy. It's actually creeping better by the end of the season if Verdugo. Can anyone climb to 100 OPS? Let's see. Gleyber's at 92. Volpe's at 92. Oswaldo doesn't really count because Verdugo's at 83. DJ can't.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gets closer than you think because Volpe and Gleyber are in range. Gleyber's trending that way. And Jazz Chisholm, it wouldn't show on like a Baseball Reference sheet.
No, but I would count him. He's on 166.
You have to.
Okay.
Yeah. 166.
So Jazz over Oswaldo. That gives them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are over 100, that are above average according to OPS plus.
Say Stanton.
Stanton's on there. He's one of those 5. It's Wells,
Stanton,
Judge, Soto, Stanton, and then Jazz. But yeah, if I was going through all past like playoff winning teams and the guys that played in the playoffs, what were their season, and it was just like much deeper
right
lineups. And DJ isn't even like he's so
right
not there. So it's hard. It's hard to find what value he brings if he starts hitting. The defense and like the game awareness and energy still hasn't been there. But I think I'm stumbling into a positive take on DJ. Albeit not like, still not enough.
Okay.
I had a hunch that DJ has been great in situational hitting. So I looked up runner on third base, less than 2 outs.
Sure.
He has had 18 plate appearances. How many times do you think he scored the run?
9.
10. It was
Yeah.
pretty good.
It's pretty good.
10 out of 18, is that what I said?
2 sack flies last night helped that.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sack flies on the year and a sack bunt.
I remember that.
Seth Lugo.
I remember.
Yeah. Also a home run came in that situation. And 2 singles. One was the walk-off infield single. So, I mean, in that situation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 field outs and 2 strikeouts, then I'm guessing. Hey, they used to pinch hit IKF just for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one I wanted to look up that I didn't get a chance to was runner on first, runner not on second. And you probably go no outs. Because he's been hitting behind that runner a couple times. He did that yesterday too.
Twice.
So like if the infield is shifted. So he's got, those are my small little tiny lanes.
Okay.
Pinch hit him in those situations. Nah. But I found good things. Those numbers aren't as good. 1, 2, 3, 4 times he's done that. So it's been tough, Jake.
Yep.
He is going to platoon with Rizzo, right?
At least to start.
Because he's like getting hits now.
When I asked Boone about Oswaldo, I forgot that we have mentally kind of taken DJ out of the playoff roster, and the Yankees haven't done that yet. So that's where I was like, oh, I'm not going to try to twist the knife right now. Hey, DJ, he'll get an opportunity to play himself into better standing, which is good and bad, probably.
Yeah, I'm getting worried about the Averex of it. Because there's not a lane, like he doesn't provide off the bench.
He's been worse against the lefties that he'd be pinch hitting for Rizzo for.
And if there was a
potentially,
if there was a ton of lefties, like you wouldn't put him on the roster over. It doesn't add up. And I am getting worried that he's going to get a couple more hits here against teams like the Rockies and the Nats. And Averex himself deeper onto the team.
Unfortunately, as the who's on the playoff roster game gets played more and more around this office, a lot of people are stumbling into. I'll believe DJ's not going to be part of the equation when the Yankees don't make him part of the equation.
Yeah. 2 hit and run attempts, according to Inside Edge, with DJ up. And both of them successful. So boom.
Volpe, get on.
I think it was Gleyber both times.
I think so.
Long time ago. Dodger series and Angel series. Haha, California. Small bald. Anything else? Any loose threads? Okay.
Gotta go.
Goodbye. Go Yanks. Tell him, Grams.
Go Yankees.
Verdugo was one of them.